This is part 2 of me turning this vintage calculator into a cell phone. It's been about a month since I started taking this apart with the intent to mod it and no idea what I wanted the final product to be. And after thinking about it for a bit, I decided to obviously turn it into a cell phone because they both have numbers. And I have worked with various aspects of telephony before, so I knew it was something that I was capable of. Doing this would mean that I need to integrate these analog components with a Raspberry Pi or an Arduino. I decided to start with the keyboard because it's the only part that isn't replaceable without compromising the general aesthetic of the piece. So the way the calculator was built is, this is the main PCB and it was connected to the keyboard via this ribbon cable, which I desoldered and replaced with headers so that I could put it onto the breadboard to test the circuits. The first thing I noticed when I look at this PCB is that each of these copper pads are one of the keys, and that there are more keys on the keyboard than there are pins for the output. After doing some research, I found out that there are two different ways of wiring keyboards, and that's direct and matrix. Because we don't have a 1-to-1 ratio of keys and pins, that means that we are left with a matrix keyboard. The way these keyboards are usually laid out is with pins running through rows of these copper pads via diodes and through columns via direct traces. It will send pulses on the column pin and listen on the row pin so that when a button is pressed, it yields the coordinate. I used my multimeter to figure out which pins were to columns and which pins were to rows. Then I ran a sketch on my Arduino Nano that sets the rows low and the columns as inputs with pull-ups. As a result, when I press a key, it prints the coordinates, and now I can map those values however I need. So that is the kernel of the keyboard over with. Next, I will be attempting to control this original vacuum fluorescent display with the microcontroller.